And welcome back on this Wednesday morning. I want to introduce you to Mr. Chris Gattis. He has written a book, and this is a book that probably everyone needs to read. I asked him if I can keep this and read it because I definitely need to. Business Startup 101, From Great Idea to Profit Quick. Wow. In 2010, Chris, this has got to be a hot seller.
Yeah, I had pretty good timing.
You sure did. First of all, what makes someone an entrepreneur?
Well, it's something burning inside them that, you know, they can't get rid of. I've wanted all my life, you know, I've had this in me, and so I understand what entrepreneurs go through, and they just have to do it.
How important is it, do you think, that people actually write down their goals, whether it's long-term or for tomorrow or next week?
I found that actually putting your goals down on paper gives you so much better chance of having them come true. Something psychologically in the back of your mind that's always working for you, you know, day and night, when you sleep, when you're concentrating on it, when you're not, it's there. And actually putting it down on paper sort of subconsciously helps you work on it. Plus it gives you a goal. It gives you something to work on.
Well, you certainly sound like a businessman. How long have you been a businessman?
You know, so for 27 years or so.
A lot of ups and downs, progress and successes and failures, I'm sure.
Oh, absolutely. You know, everybody, even very successful people are going to have some failures. And that's part of being a business person, an entrepreneur, is you have to learn how to deal with the failures, learn from your mistakes, and move forward.
They're not a lot of fun, but you got to pick yourself back up and go forward.
That's right.
What made you decide to write a book like this?
I coach with lots and lots of people every week, either through the Women's Business Center in Huntsville or over in Morgan County. My own business clients that I work with, and the thing that I notice is that people have this idea. They have this great idea in their mind, but they don't know how to turn it into a business. And so I'm teaching them how to do this every week, and finally I said, you know, I should just write this down.
It makes a lot of sense. Now in here I see you have worksheets, you have forms, you have actually specific things that they can write down and estimate to figure out their costs.
Sure. This is a hands-on how-to-do-it book. And one of the things that new entrepreneurs struggle with is they don't know what this stuff should look like. And so what I've tried to do is make it as easy as possible for people to succeed by putting worksheets and stuff in the book. On the website for the book, I have the full-size pages they can download in either an Excel or a Word file, and they can plug their own information into it so that they're not trying to recreate the wheel. Why
are you trying to make it so easy for people to make their business so successful?
Well, if other people succeed, I succeed.
What is that famous Zig Ziglar quote? If you help others get what they want, you'll get what you want.
That's right.
Was that it? Did I say that right? Help them get what they want so you can get what you want. And everybody working together. What is the biggest mistake that you think people make when trying to start their business in all of your years in doing this? The
biggest mistake is that business owners just don't know what they're doing. Okay, they just need to get a little bit of assistance, whether that's from a mentor, from a coach, from a consultant, taking a class at a local school, a community college, or university. They go into this with their eyes glazed over because they have this idea and they've got to get it out, but they don't really know how to do it. They don't understand the business part of running a business. And a little bit of education in that area will increase their odds of success dramatically. Do you ever think that someone should just have one person that they get their advice from? Or, I mean, because what if you get bad advice from that one or two people? You know, that's a problem, but I think the odds are that you're probably better off having lots of good advice than the odds of, you know, getting one piece of bad advice. And don't get your feelings hurt if you think your brilliant idea isn't brilliant when someone says, I don't think that's good. No, you really have to have pretty thick skin to do this. And part of my model in the book is teaching people how to look at their business, analyze whether or not it will be successful, and test for viability. That is, will real people pay real money in enough quantity that you can meet your goals? And if that doesn't work, then you have to go back to the model and tweak it and run the numbers again. And it's a process. For most people, they're going to have to go through several iterations before they get it right. And probably even if they're in that business and it seems to be going well, there's always ways you can make it a little better. Oh, You can always
Constantly.
improve. You can always improve.
Well, great. What is your website address?
My website is businessstartup101.com.
Very easy. Businessstartup101.com.
That's right.
Great. I knew he would. Yes, JB.
Entrepreneurs.
The smell of success,
There
Chris.
you go. Well, that's actually a phrase that was coined by a local entrepreneur here in town, Mr. Tim Knox, and one of his kids' phrases. It applies to a lot of us from time to time.
It does. It does. Well, Chris, thank you so much for coming up with us this morning. I will have this interview on our website. If you missed anything, you can go to jamiecooper.com to get that information. And where can people get your book?
They can get the book at the website at businessstartup101.com or on Amazon.
All right, great. Amazon.com. You can get that book. All right. Thank you so much, Chris.
Thank you.
We're going to take a quick break. When we get back, Johnny Lee Dees is here, and we'll talk about some more goodness. Stay with us.
Local and loving